vidIQ.com.
Hey, welcome back to the only podcast you want to tell everyone about, but they still don't know what you're talking about. I'm Travis, and I'm here with Jen.
We're here. It's Monday.
Ugh, it feels like a Monday.
We're feeling it. It feels like a Monday. We were just talking before that today is extra Monday-ish.
It's extra Monday. And the nice thing is we release these on a Monday, so no matter when we record this, it is definitely a Monday. So you feeling the Monday. Let us know
To our
if you're feeling
future selves, next Monday will be more like a Tuesday.
Hopefully we can may the gods be with us on this one. All right. Welcome back to the show. If you're new here, welcome. We're here to talk about YouTube and all the YouTubery things and how to hopefully help you grow your channel. We do that because we love it. We love our community. And we're going to take some questions from the community, but I was talking to Jen right before we hit record, and I was reading some of the YouTube comments on today's video, which is, when you're hearing this, it's going to be last week's video, but it's about the YouTube algorithm. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about channel stuff too. But let's read some of your comments because we love to hear from the community. And I think, wow, we got a lot of comments on this video, and it's only been up for like 2 hours. All right, let's read some of these. All right, here we go, Jen. From Koi Fish, he says, this video, and again, remember the video is about the algorithm. This video was recommended to me by the amazing algorithm to talk about how amazing the algorithm is. The circle is complete. Oh, good. I love this one. This is actually really interesting. I see this sentiment a lot. Creators, stop trying to get rich quick with magic buttons. Consistently making quality content about things you have a true passion for will bring success. YouTube wants people to watch your videos. Our mission is to make them worth watching. I love that. Let's get it.
It's the truth.
This video was so helpful. I binge your podcast as soon as it's released, but I saved this one for today so I can sit down on my desktop and watch and take notes.
Wow. Oh, I love the note taking.
That's a good idea. I
love that. A lot of my creators take notes through my messages if it's a video one, since there's video and text, and they'll be like, hold on, let me look at my notes really quick.
Oh, I should be taking notes, Jen. I'm so disorganized. I had someone the other day. Oh, that reminds me. I got to message them back. They're like, wait, maybe you should take this on. You're so organized. I'm like, I got you finessed because I am not that guy.
I'm not organized. I'm not organized. When I talk to people, I'm like, your content schedule. I'm like, however you have it. And they'll Notions and Google Docs. And I'm like an iPad notes kind of girl.
I'm sorry. You take notes? They're all in my mental. Here's another one. Another fantastic episode of the Boost podcast, and my subscribers have increased since I've subscribed to the Boost vidIQ plan. The title and video description feature has helped me coming up with appropriate keywords for the topic of the video to put in the video title and description, which helps me with SEO. Love the Boost. Love Jen and Travis. Love it. This is my favorite podcast. I've learned something new every episode. Keep up the value. Awesome value coming, guys. Oh, that's amazing. And then let's see, maybe one more. Travis, I love what you said about YouTube being mentally taxing and really being real work. I enjoy making videos, but sometimes I'll go hard for a while and then have to take a break or rest. I'm saying this to everyone, including myself. Don't work so hard that it becomes unhealthy. Take breaks and get some rest.
Yes.
And one more. I'm going to get in on the candy debate. Love Reese's. They're best cold or with ice cream. Three Musketeers is all fluff, no stuff. All right, first of all,
fluff, no stuff. Is that what they just said?
That's what he said. You're canceled. I was with you for a minute. It is interesting, though. I was talking to someone, I don't know if it was you or not, where they were talking about peanut butter, and I'm like, I don't like peanut butter, but Reese's peanut butter cups.
We were talking about, I think we actually talked about it last time on the podcast. Yeah. I think we took it offline after, too, but...
Yeah. I'm like, I will eat it. I will.
Cold, though. I like that this person threw in cold. I'm a firm believer all chocolate and, like, a lot of candy should be cold, too.
Interesting.
Or I'm going to throw one out there. This is going to get people riled up.
Okay.
Stale candy.
I'm sorry, what? What are you talking about now? First, it was candy corn. I think you even advocated for Peeps, which is an abomination. Now you're saying stale candy. Everyone knows this is a candy podcast, not a YouTube podcast.
Stale candy. Don't knock it till you try it. Like, if I have Twizzlers or like a type of gummy bears or something, stale. I want them like as chewy as possible.
Okay, I was about to go in on you, and then I realized growing up I loved flat soda. So okay.
Oh.
Okay, all right.
Oh.
Okay, all right. Okay, we're gonna move on to
flat soda versus stale candy. Oh gosh.
Another war has started. All right, everyone. I'm sorry for that. We've taken you completely off the grid for some of it. Again, this is a part.
How not to do a YouTube intro. Here we go.
We are part YouTube advice, part candy podcast. Okay, but anyway, let's get to some of these emails you sent us. First one is to theboost@vidIQ.com. That's the email address if you want to send in questions. And this is from someone I don't think we've ever heard from before. Hello, Travis and Jen and the vidIQ crew. First and foremost, I must say thank you. I found your podcast, and I've been listening throughout the day and using it to get courage to begin posting again. I appreciate the constant push and positivity you both provide. First of all, that's amazing.
That
Love to
is
hear
so cool.
That's incredible. Thank you so much for the thank you. With that said, oh, geez, whenever someone says that, I'm always like, what'd I do wrong?
Are they about to knock our confidence down?
I don't know. With that said, my goal is to begin posting videos again after a year of not posting and a significant change in content type, but remain active in my community tab and streaming to Twitch. And I want to open memberships. Figured I'd at least give it a try. One of the perks for members I have heard you talk about is releasing a video early to members. My question is, will releasing a video early hurt my analytics later? Also, what is a good timetable for releasing a video early? A day, a week? Thank you again for all you do, and I hope the new year's treating you both well. P.S. I don't like Cadbury eggs or candy corn, so to me you're both weird. Must be because you're geniuses. But I also think mayo is the devil's spit. No, mayo is awesome. Stop it. Okay, so the members only thing, excuse me, the members only thing is actually a feature. It didn't used to be. What you used to have to do was unlist it and then like do a community members post for just your members and then post the unlisted link. That's not the case anymore. There's an actual feature. And what it does is it allows you to, here, I'm going to do it right now. So you can schedule it to members and it asks you, schedule, let's see. I think it says schedule to members and it asks you how long, but I think it only does it like 24 hours ahead of time. Oh, no, it does it a couple days.
You can set it as long as you want.
Right.
You can schedule both published times now.
Yes.
Which is so cool because you used to have to manually change it. And now you can schedule when it's going to go live for everybody. Like, you got no worries.
Yeah. So, but the question was like or first of all, it doesn't hurt the product. It doesn't hurt the video because it's still technically unlisted. YouTube doesn't look at the analytics on it until, as far as like publishing it and getting it pushed out for more impressions, until it's in the published state, which it is not when it's in the members, when you're using the members feature. So you don't have to worry about that. But as far as how early in advance, it's really up to you. I mean, some people will do 24 to 48 hours. But you can do as long as you want. I just think if you're just getting back into it and you're like a smaller channel, you want to get your content out there as fast as possible, right? Because you need to get, especially if you haven't been uploading for a while. So, I'd probably make it shorter, like 24, 48 hours. But you can do whatever you want, whatever people appreciate. Jen does hers
3 weeks.
3 weeks? Yeah, 3 weeks. I've already seen her next year's videos because I'm a super member. I got the super membership. It only cost me $20 a minute. Okay. I love the subject name for this. Subscribers, schmubscribers. I'm not even joking. That's
perfect.
What it says. Oh, you're supposed to read this.
Oh, am I?
Yeah. This is back from Friday. Here, it's a short email, so I'll throw it in the Slack so you can just read it from there. It's super, super short instead of forwarding you the email. I mean, this is how technologically
advanced we are.
Yeah, we're so advanced. All right, there you go.
Hey, Jen and Travis. We know that the subscriber metric doesn't get reflected in the views per video. Do you think it would be good if subscriptions were canceled if you don't watch for a year or so? Ooh, I like these deep questions. Then there'd be more clarity for us in our analytics versus sub count. It would keep the sub count more relevant. This is interesting. I don't know if I like it for any type of benefit for like analytics like they're talking about, but I do like it as just like an overall cleanup for YouTube. I wouldn't say a year though. I would probably say like 2 years.
So they already cleaned up old accounts if people quit and stuff, but he's just saying, in a weird way, it already does that.
Yeah, it kind of does.
In that you don't see, like, I'm subscribed to channels that I don't see anything from anymore. I think, though, creators would be upset seeing that number go down.
Yeah, I think it would be like bad morale. But I do like it as like a viewer to see somebody like pop back up like into and be like, I used to be subscribed to him, but I'm going to start watching them again. Like they pivot their content a year or two later and you're like, oh, this is interesting to me again.
I wonder if, see, I'm still of the, and I know not everyone's going to agree. And listen, you can send an email in and tell me your hot take on this, but my hot take has been, I think YouTube would be better if you couldn't see the views on a video. Because too many people, I think, judge a video on the views before they ever watch it.
Definitely.
So,
definitely.
I mean,
I still just don't know if I agree with that, though.
I just think what it would do is it would allow people to create and not feel the insecurity and the worries. I'm not saying that you wouldn't see it in the back end. You would. I'm just talking about the public facing stuff.
I'd rather see a world without thumbnails than a world without views.
So it would just be words?
It would just autoplay. Like a long shelf almost.
Interesting.
Like, let me judge your video, not your cover art.
That's interesting, Jen. Look at you with your hot take.
Right? Because I think that's more interesting. I don't know. If I see a lot of views, then I know people are clicking on it typically for a reason. Or like it's being suggested to a lot of people for a reason.
Yeah.
But it gives a little bit more confidence into clicking in.
Okay.
I think that if you
you're not
like
wrong.
views, you have to like counter that with some kind of different way the content is surfacing then. Because, like shorts, you don't see views when they surface to you. You only see likes.
But that's my point, is that views have been kind of stripped away from different aspects of YouTube for a long time, so they could just go whole hop, but they'd get canceled. Everyone would be like, no, without realizing there's actually a benefit to it. Because same thing when you couldn't see dislikes. The whole like, oh, it's going to make it hard to know what a bad video is. Well, if it's a bad video, it shouldn't be surfaced to you in the first place. That's more of a YouTube problem than a you problem. But
I've never looked at dislikes. Have you? Did you ever look at that as like a creator, like actually, or like a reviewer? Look at a video?
Only when the meta was that video had a lot of dislikes, which was the YouTube year in review. Remember when they would do those? Remember when YouTube did those?
Yeah, but I feel like that would actually like make me want to watch it more. Like, why is it so bad?
It did. It made the videos like blow up. Like that's a hilarious thing. It's like it did the opposite. So what good was the thumbs down? Like you watched it anyway because you're like, well, this video is bad. I need to watch this video. Like, hello?
It's true. Yeah, it's horrible.
It's a car crash that you have to pull over and watch.
I was just gonna say that it's a car crash.
Yeah. Before we get to the next email, like I said, I want to talk a little bit about the channel. Those of you know that we started the Boost channel. Again, if you're watching the video portion of the podcast, obviously you know this. You're watching it. If you're listening to the audio only, have never watched the YouTube channel, you can see Jen and I, for better or for worse, on your screen
on this Monday.
Right? But we started the channel mid last year or so, summertime last year. We just hit 2,000 subscribers, which is amazing. That's great.
So cool.
We've gone through the small channel grind because it was funny because when we first started, I was like, Jen, I don't remember only getting one impression for the first day. I don't remember that. So we went through it. It's terrible.
Oh, we did.
So for those that are like small channels, oh, you guys are with the 2 million. No. This channel started at 0, and we had to grind this thing. And even to be where we are now, I'm super, super happy with it. Performance is good. I found something interesting though, and I talked briefly about it last week, but I wouldn't go into detail until I had more information. And now I have more information.
Oh, that's right.
Remember that conspiracy theory I was talking about?
Yes.
I feel more comfortable saying it, but I need people to understand that they can't worry about this. It's just another piece of information to have when you are trying to learn about how YouTube works. Because not everything do you even have control over. Like I can't remember what it was. Someone was like, well, what happens if this happens? I'm like, yeah, it's a thing, but there's nothing you can do about it, so don't worry about it. Like sometimes we say that, and it's the truth. You have other things you can worry about, like your thumbnail and your title being
Yeah.
and your topic being like those things are things you can worry about. Things that like if YouTube didn't show my video to all my subscribers, there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah.
So you got to move on. And this is one of those things that you can kind of do something about it, but whether or not you should is the other answer. So here's the thing. I have long suspected that algorithmically, YouTube knows the viewers that come to your channel about how long they're going to watch a video, right? And if you create a video that is either longer or shorter, although my experience has only been shorter, then around that time, it won't get as many impressions. That has been the case on this channel. I've had that experience on my previous channel, and I was like, is this a thing? But it was still I was in YouTube for like a year and a half, and I'm like, I don't know if I even understand what's going on. I have a much bigger understanding of how YouTube works. So in having that knowledge and then running this channel and seeing what happens, it is very interesting. So here's the example. So we do clips on the YouTube channel for those of you who don't know, because there's a lot of people that'll come to the podcast and like, oh, I don't know these guys. I don't know if I want to watch an hour before I know what's what, right? So we do these like 4-minute clips about different subjects. And y'all seem to like them well, but I bet you a lot of the people who watch the YouTube channel don't even know they exist. And the reason you don't know they exist is because they're not being pushed to you. What's interesting is the impressions from those smaller clips are at times half as much, even with the same click-through rate, as our podcasts. And I'm really pointing this out not because that over time they can't get views, but within the first couple of days, there is a huge difference. And my suspicion is YouTube knows that when we put out a 40 to 50 minute to hour-long video, it knows that people are going to watch for 20, 30 minutes, or a lot of people watch the whole thing. When you put out a 4-minute video, the best case scenario is 4 minutes, which isn't going to happen that often. It's going to be a little less than that, right? And it just doesn't, it just thinks that the people who come to the channel aren't going to watch that. So it doesn't push the impressions. And I've watched this over multiple videos over the last couple of months on this channel, and it continues to happen. Now, what do you do with that information? I don't know.
The end. Thank you. Thank you for
The
sharing,
end. Thank
Travis.
you. Please drive around. Just something for thought. What do you think about that? Have you ever noticed that? Like, have you ever had longer videos on your channel and then put out a short one and it didn't get very many impressions, or vice versa? You ever notice that?
I mean, I can relate it. It's hard to relate it because I could say in terms of shorts, like, I think that if you have shorter long form content and shorts, those potentially work better together.
Sure.
But if you're producing very long content and shorts, I don't see those meshing super, super well. But again, an assumption. If you're putting out hour-long content, it's either hard to put that into short-form content, or it's just such a different interest. I don't know.
Yeah. I think ultimately YouTube's trying to do the right thing by showing viewers what, they most engage with on your channel. And if most people that come to your channel are watching for 20, 30, 40, 50 minutes, and you put out a 4-minute video, I believe YouTube goes, well, that's not what the data backs. But that's just because we haven't done a lot of it. I think if we did more of it for a longer period of time rather than this kind of short experiment, we might see that change. But it is very obvious that there's something going on because it happens immediately. Thumbnails are about the same. Titles are about the same. They're similar. The click-through rate is about the same. So people are clicking them as they're seeing it. But the initial impressions, which is what I'm basing it on. I'm not saying these videos can't get more views in the long term. They probably will. But my whole theory is because of what it knows about the viewership, because that's what the first 48 hours is about. It knows these viewers. I'm going to send it out to them. It's not even bothering with half the people, which I think is really interesting.
I mean, I wouldn't watch a 4-minute video. You could surface all you want to me. I'm not watching it.
Well, that's the funny thing, because it's usually the opposite. Usually, like, I won't watch the short thing because I don't want to watch the long thing. But Jen just recently had this thing happen where you're like, I don't know if people want to watch me for 40 minutes.
Oh, I took a poll on my personal channel. I love, like, one of my channels is experimental for work, and we like to just do some fun stuff.
Shenanigans.
Yeah. And I took a poll because we have been having this conversation about longer content just getting longer. So I had a poll that was 30-minute video, 45-minute video, 1 hour plus video. You bet your butt everybody voted over an hour. And I mean, there's, this is also a community vote. You don't have that outreach to people that haven't been there. But even still, it's crazy to see that. We're talking about YouTube 10 years ago. 5 minutes was a long video.
Yeah.
And now we're producing hour-long content because people are streaming this in the background while they're cleaning their house and stuff. It's like turning into a new background noise. Nobody's watching The Office on repeat anymore.
I mean, I am. But by the way, we actually, on the main channel, talked about this. The Netflix is Dead video, which is really excellent. You should watch that. Kind of talks about this. And it's like, you just watch longer. Now, you did this, right? You did like a longer video. Did you say it performed really good or something? I don't remember.
It did. And I had people in the comments actually saying, like, I put this on when I'm cleaning.
Really?
Or like, yes. And even someone who must have been familiar with YouTube, they're like, you're getting so many views and watch time from me because I put this on as background noise, but then I want to actually watch it, so I have to replay sections. So I'm constantly clicking back and then rewatching the video. So I've probably contributed to like 50 views myself. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's hilarious. But it just goes to show like the culture is different. But I also, as well as like my girlfriends, like we all put on YouTube for background noise.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it is because the content's longer. Is that like shifting together?
Yeah, I think there is something to it. So what does this mean for a creator? What does this mean? Like, what are you going to take away from this? I think ultimately it is, if you have a successful formula and maybe your videos always end up around 8 to 10 minutes, your expectations of doing a video that's like 4 minutes, at least initially, should be that you might get less impression and views. Doesn't mean you are. It's not a guarantee, but it's just something I've seen across a lot of videos now at this point. So if you have an expectation from your viewership of being around for a longer period of time, be around for a longer period of time. Don't stretch content out for no good reason, but if you have, don't feel bad about giving people more content. Definitely make it purposeful, but don't feel bad about it.
Don't push it for no reason. I have a large creator I'm working with right now who was putting out the 8 to 12, never breaking 15-minute long content. And I said, we need to push these longer. This is not good enough anymore. This is not what people are leaning towards. Checked all the retention graphs, pushed videos to, I want to say 29-minute mark, right around 30 for some of them, but well over 15 million views the first week in content.
Wow. Yeah, I think it just goes
the
to show.
retention was there. They had it. They had the storytelling. They were a strong, well, still are, a strong creator that was in the position to push their skills to the next level. And that next level was a timestamp, really.
Yeah, timestamp this stuff.
A timestamp. I mean, the clear understanding, like, we're not going for a timestamp, but we're going for longer content.
Yeah. Well, ultimately, I think you want to meet the expectation of your viewers and whatever length of video that is. All right. Next one. Subject matter: are YouTube live analytics unclear? Before I even read this, yes.
Yes.
Let me go ahead and continue. Hello, vidIQ crew. I will put this in bullet points to make it more digestible. Appreciate that. Thank you. I decided to stop watching strategy videos and finally release something. Yay.
Yes.
All right, let's go. Number 2, unconventionally, I chose to go live as this is one of my channel goals for my educational channel. And I thought going live with little to no subs would be a good way to get camera practice in the low pressure scenario, which I agree with.
That's fantastic.
Number 3, the live went great. I had around 30 views, 11 of which stuck around for the majority of what ended up being a 3-hour stream. Let's go. Let's get it. Here's where the analytic confusion starts. From what I can tell, you can see the live analytics upon the live concluding for a little while until the live is converted into or treated as a long-form video. At this point, new view counts and watch time metrics are shown relative to it being a long-form video. This is correct, by the way. What he's saying is, and this is true, and this is what makes it kind of confusing, is there's analytics of while you're live, and then when it becomes a video on demand. And when you look at a live video later, it pretty much only shows the analytics from after it was live, unless you, okay. Number 5, the live analytics are still counted under the overall channel analytics section, but unless I'm missing something, those live stats are now discombobulated from the live stream from which they originated. Yes, you are correct. This seems like an odd presentation of information if you're trying to judge the merit of your lives from one stream to the next. Yes, you are correct. Hopefully I'm just being a bonehead and missing something obvious. No, you are not.
I just actually learned this, I want to say like last week or 2 weeks ago. And I had a conversation with Jeff, and I was like, Jeff, what do we have going on here? And he was like, oh, no. I've like talked to YouTube about this. Like, it's a disaster.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. Types back to creator. You are not crazy. It is true.
No, it's very true. There is, again, no kind of answer for this. You can just kind of pay attention to what's happening when it happens. And then once it gets live, the metrics switch.
I think that they do catch up, though. You don't know what time frame you're looking at for it, but they should create a bond together to form as one video.
So let me look at like the the main channel's live stream stuff. So
that's crazy. I've never looked at like live analytics, really.
Yeah. So the one thing you can see is, how your audience engaged with your last live stream. And it tells you like chat messages and reactions, and that's still there. But when it shows something like when you go to the overview page, it says this video has however many views since it was published. And when it was published is not when it was live. It was when it was published as a video on demand. If you want to see everything, you hit the down arrow and say since uploaded. And that includes when you were live.
Well, look at that. A nice little hack.
Yeah. So so to be clear for people who don't know what I'm talking about, at the top where the dates are, where it says like 24 hours first 7, it defaults to since published. Again, published is once the video live stream is done and it converts it to a video on demand. That's what that is. If you want to see everything, you go down to since uploaded, comma, or quotes, lifetime, and that's when you will see your aggregate. So I was kind of being cheeky when I was like, no, it doesn't work, it's broken. It does work, but it's in a weird way. They don't default the view to that. They default the view to video on demand. So hopefully that
we call broken.
Yeah, exactly.
It is broken though. Like
I agree with this.
Like you look at that and you're like, what happened?
Okay. Okay. I just saw an interesting title is, oh my God, Jen, I'm going to have to send you this picture. You are going to lose it. I need to start reading these emails before I read them on the air, but okay. Hello, Jen, Travis, and whoever else might be a special guest. Long-time listener, first-time caller. I was listening to the podcast about analytics. Towards the end of the show, I glanced over to my radio, and the title caught my attention. I immediately had to take a double take. Yes, it's what I thought I saw. I guess the moral of the story is the cutoff isn't the same for all platforms. I had a good laugh, so I figured I'd share it. It's probably statistically insignificant. Keep up the great work.
I know what it is. I'm
going to show you the picture. I'm going to show you the picture. I'm not going to talk about it, but I'm going to show you the picture, Jen. And you got to remember, people listen to our stuff.
I know what it is.
Very differently. They listen on different platforms, and some platforms cut off things in different ways. And this person was watching it listening to it in their car. I think using the car play. I think, which I use, which is like allows your phone to. I don't know what to say. I can't listen. I'm sorry for the audio listeners who don't know what I'm talking. I'm sorry for any listener that doesn't know why we're laughing. I think if you just think about the title of the YouTube video I just talked about, you'll understand where the cutoff would be kind of comical. And on his screen, it cut off very early in the title.
This is why we're here for the emails.
I love our community. I can't even begin to tell you how much I love our community.
Oh,
I don't even know. I want to share this with other people over Slack, but I'm afraid I might get hit with like a meeting where we have to sit down with people and we're like, look, you need to understand that you can't share something like this. I'm like, this is a podcast. It's not something we did. It's just, They're going
to be like, put extra spaces, put an emoji, put something in there.
How was I supposed to know that?
That's so funny, though. Like, that's so funny. Weirdly enough, that was the 4 letters, my first ever license plate.
What?
That's what it was. And my
my
mom went,
goodness.
no,
No, we can't
we're
have
going to
that.
get a new one.
For people who missed it earlier, this is how the YouTube analytics work, is the video we're talking about, and it just got cut off in a very funny place. Okay, let's go to the last email of the week, because good Lord have mercy, I don't know that I can handle much more. This can't be real. I just made my first dollar off YouTube via merch. You don't have to read this. I just don't want anyone else. I don't have anyone else to share it with. 239 subs, 70K views, and I made my first ever profit. I'm so excited.
That's why we're here. We're here so you can share this with us. That's literally why we're here.
We're your YouTube friends.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. What a great feeling.
Yes. I think it's great. I think it's interesting because you think about when you first start like YouTube and stuff, a lot of people's aspirations are to make money and to be famous or whatever. Not everyone wants that, but some people just want to have a successful channel. But that can mean a lot of things to a lot of people. But I think there comes a time where if you're going to sell merch or you're out and about and someone recognizes you, that something weird happens. Like the first time someone recognized me was in an Apple store. And I didn't know what was going on in the moment because I forgot I was a YouTuber. Like I wasn't even thinking about it. I was just doing something. And it was a cool moment. I loved it. I embraced it, and I think it's amazing. And when people buy your merch and people wear it, like I've gotten people taking pictures of when I used to sell merch, and there's something about that. It's so special. It's like, oh my gosh, someone believes in what I'm doing, and that's so awesome.
Someone likes me.
Someone likes me.
It's so cool. Oh, what a great moment. The firsts are just always the best.
It's the best.
Like, that just can't be beat.
The first kind of thing that we have sent to us was the stuff by Neil. For people watching the YouTube channel, we got these keychains from Neil, YouTuber thing, which is cool.
Mine is down here. Luckily, the camera can't see the chaotic reorganization of my shelves.
Are the ants down there?
Probably. It's literally, I've been like redoing my office and I have like stuff just like thrown up so like I can keep working, but like where the camera can't see is like everything that was on my shelf plus more in a gigantic pile.
Bro, if you could see all the stuff on my desk right now, it's not
Yeah,
good.
but yours is nice and blurred.
Yeah, I got it heavily blurred. You don't want to see what's back there.
Heavily blurred.
Technology can be great at times. All right, so that's kind of the end here. I just wanted to say thank you guys and gals for always tuning in. It's my great pleasure to be able to share the little bit of information I have about something YouTubery and then have comments and emails and stuff come in that just make our day. Jen and I were just talking about this before we started. Like today was a trying day. Well, I think the weekend was trying for me, but you know, today was a trying day. And Jen and I were talking literally, and I go, okay, we're going to do the podcast. And then I started reading some comments, and Jen was like, I love these. And I'm like, I do too. So that's why we read the comments at the beginning of the podcast. And, you know, to the point of, you never know what impact you're going to have on someone. I constantly forget the impact we have on you guys that are listening. I constantly forget about it. But I'm so glad you remind me. It is humbling, and I think it's amazing. So the same thing for you guys. When you share with us, you're impacting us in a very positive way. It may not seem like, I think when I used to listen to podcasts, I'm like, I'll send them an email. They probably don't care. That's not the case here. That is not the case here. We love it.
We do. Everyone make sure to write in your wins. So for the next episode, we can rapid fire those off.
They're just hearing that podcast episode today. So they're just probably writing in their wins this week. That's right. Oh, well, I say today, but I mean last week, depending on when you're listening to this episode.
Next episode. We get to read everybody's wins.
The next episode, yes. Anyway, it is my great pleasure to serve you in any way I can. We thank you so much for being a part of this community and helping grow this channel to 2,000. We're looking at that 3,000 going, let's do this thing. Let's make this thing happen.
Oh, we're going to do it.
We're going to do it. Jen, any homework for anybody before we head out for of course, the wins, obviously.
The wins for sure, yeah. I really challenge everybody to find a new smaller creator and leave them a comment if you enjoyed their content. It doesn't even have to be a smaller creator. Leave a comment on somebody's YouTube channel. I know we have tons of silent watchers. I'm a silent watcher a lot of the time. We all kind of fall into being the silent watchers. So leave a comment.
Yeah.
Let people know they're doing great, especially if it's on a Monday.
Oh my gosh! Please leave comments on Mondays, please. You have no idea. All right, look, everybody. We thank you so much for joining us. We will see you in the next one here on The Boost and Tube Talk.